Lisa. I've been doing some video logs sharing different crafting things that I'm doing, some knitting and quilting. Today I'd like to look at paper crafting, and I have a couple of videos from the past that I want to include here along with something that I'm just working on today. Let me show you first today's project. Lately, since I've been doing a lot of other things, and I have quilting stuff laying out here right now, I have been clearing this area to do scrapbook pages, but not to do a lot of other things like card making or mess with mixed media or things that get messy, because I'm bringing a lot of fabrics over here, so it works to do things here that don't create a lot of messy environments that might damage my fabrics. And what I'm doing today is I needed a gift bag. And for something tomorrow night, I had the gift, I just didn't have a bag, and I thought, and I just was at the dollar store just a couple of days ago, but I'm like, okay, I can find something. So I went through my bags that you get from department stores or specialty stores or something, and my mom and I had gone to Dillard's back at Christmas, and they had a little door prize thing, an event, and we ended up with this bag that was just the normal Dillard's bag. You can see the name on the front of it, and otherwise it was solid red. And I thought I can turn this into a birthday bag. So what I've done is taken a piece of designer paper and I've cut it to the size of one side of the bag, and I punched holes where the tie would come through, and then I just cut down to my holes so that I could fit the paper around the ties here. I didn't even have to take them, I didn't even have to undo them to get this in here that way. And then I've just glued all of this on, and I'm going to add a little bit more glue to make sure that stays really good there on the bottom. And then I cut with a silhouette a tag, and then another tag for the inside, and stamped happy birthday on it. So now I have a bag that looks pretty custom, pretty much like a birthday, and I can put my gift inside of it for a birthday dinner tomorrow evening. So I look at it as recycling, upcycling, so reusing things. So I just used a little bit of the paper that I had, and voila, we have a gift bag. Now the other two videos that I'd like to share with you, whenever my husband travels, I make little cards and I put in his clothes so he finds little surprises, and I have a video on that. I also have one from about a year ago when I was invited to a baby shower and I did a mixed media canvas. So I just wanted to share that canvas with you, and I've had the video for a year and I just never got around to sharing it, and it took me forever to find it. I went through my journal to find out the exact date of when I did this canvas, and looked and I thought it was lost, and finally it occurred to me that sometimes when I download videos with my camera, they don't go where they're supposed to go, and I have to use Photoshop Elements, and it puts them in a different place, and voila, there was the video. So I was able to find it. I'm going to show you some still shots as well, because the canvas on the video doesn't look as good as it did in real life. So hopefully the pictures will help it to show up better. But it was a hit at the shower, because it went with the things that the mother-to-be, the now mother of nearly a year-old baby, had picked out. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed these two videos, and stay tuned for other things that I'll have coming along, more scrapbooking videos, and keep up with the progress on my sewing and knitting projects. Thanks a lot. Whenever my husband travels, I like to put a little note in pockets of his clothes, and sometimes I make these notes as I go when I'm doing cards, just taking some of the extra materials and just doing a few little small cards and putting them away. And then other times I get caught kind of without anything, and it's time for him to travel somewhere, and I need to make up some cards, and that's what happened this time. He doesn't travel that much anymore, so a couple of times a year I need to make or have cards ready. But he looks forward to seeing those in his pockets, or either he's surprised, I don't know, he seems very pleased when he has little cards in shirt or pants pockets. They're really easy to make. I did these in 45 minutes, and when I came up here to my work table, I had something else laying out on the table that really wasn't ready to start cutting up and using the extras for cards. I didn't have anything in mind other than that I had this stamp set that I knew I was going to be putting up for sale soon, so I thought, well, let's see if there's something I can use in there, and there was. So I stamped that using markers. I just grabbed some white a scrap piece of Stampin' Up! Cardstock and did that and this image, used my markers, and then I went to my 6x6 papers where I have just, again, scraps of papers to find some things that matched. And actually I found the paper first so I get the right colors. And so I did these two, grabbed some cardstock out of my Stampin' Up! Drawers to match them. Then this one, I'll show you it all the way through, and I made an envelope for it. I used to do envelopes for all of them, but they, the envelopes kind of get lost, and I don't think, he really cares about the envelopes, so I just stopped bothering with that. But this one, I had the cameras, I did have this out on my work table with some of these cameras, so I decided to color it. I'm not real thrilled with the coloring on that, but the idea behind this one is to remind him to take photos. So I went to my sticker drawer, got these stickers, found this sticker as well, so I could make a quick one using this sticker, some designer paper, and then I just wrote on the back for it and added the little twine at the top at the last minute for that one, so it'll probably go in a shirt pocket. Then for this one, since I had the stickers, I went back to the 6x6 papers, found something that matched those stickers, and I came across this camera paper. It doesn't perfectly match those papers. I probably wouldn't use them together. They look pretty close, but it is a different, that's orange instead of red. For these kind of cards, it doesn't matter. The idea here is just to make very quick decisions. Whatever paper comes first that you find that looks good, you use it. You don't spend a lot of time finding the perfect paper to go with the gold background on this sticker. You just grab something that matches, and it's the sentiment on the inside and the idea that you've taken the time to make something and enclose it with the clothes. That's what makes it special. I did make an envelope for this one because when I put the ink, and I was using markers, and I was also using some Distress Oxide, which was not drying. It's been overnight now. Oh, it's still not perfectly dry. I may have to coat that with something before I send it off with them. But I did create a pocket for this because of that, and I thought that made it kind of cute. The pocket was really simple. Just took the leftover camera paper and scored it a little bit wider than what this card would be, glued it together on the back, and on the bottom I sealed it up with washi tape, and on the top I used a 1-inch circle punch to punch that out so that it would be easy to pull this out. But I am going to have to do something to this, maybe put a little Mod Podge or something over the top of that to keep it from rubbing off. So I would have thought that would have set by now, but it just hasn't. So I don't know. I need to do something with that. Either that or just pull this camera off and put a plain one on. I might do that. That'll be the fastest thing. But anyway, so that's what I did for these cute little cards that will go in inside the clothes in the suitcase, so that when he puts his clothes on and he puts his hand in his pocket, there's a little note from me. I have learned something important I learned this many years ago when he went on a business trip, and I put a note in the pocket and I put something in there that was a little more intimate in what I wrote, and he pulled it out in front of a coworker, and fortunately it was something that only meant something to he and I, so the coworker was a little puzzled and didn't know what I was saying, which is a good thing. So just be careful maybe what you write and what they're going to, who's going to see them besides your spouse. So anyway, that was just a lesson that I learned. I made this canvas as a baby shower gift for a friend's daughter. I asked my friend what her daughter was going to use in her nursery, what colors, and she said it was pink, kind of a salmon pink, and then she told me what sort of bedding and things she was using from Babies R Us. It was called Fiona Fox. So I came home and I looked that up, and I found this pretty design that included a little fox and a tree and an owl and a peacock. So and she had mentioned some of those elements, so I knew I had the right thing. So I used that as the design to inspire the mixed media canvas. For the background, I've put several book papers, quite a bit of music paper, a little bit of stuff from children's storybooks. I have this little girl that was out of a sewing book, and like making a little coat for the little girl. And then I couldn't find a peacock in any of my books, and I had this one from a dictionary page, so I did that. For the fox, I found a die cut in the Silhouette store. There are quite a few little cute fox die cuts in the Silhouette store, and I found the one that I thought worked the best, and did a little, just you doing some mixed media techniques, adding a little bit of ink over it, and a rub on here for the tail to give it a little bit more design. And you can see some of the lullaby in the background there. The tree is made with fiber paste. A lot of my mixed media things are starting to go dry as I haven't been doing as much, but the fiber paste was still in great shape, and it makes beautiful trees. Just adding a little bit of ink to it and putting it on. It takes quite a bit of time to dry. Behind it I had already stenciled a design, and then I added some additional leaves. The owl was one I had for ages. I still have another one of these. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and so I just added quite a bit of color to it. So the tree then goes over this photo frame, and I take frames and I repaint them and add some different finishes to them, and it's glued down except for the side, so you can slip your photo into the side, and these look really good with a close-up photo of the child. And I put the baby's name down here in the lower left corner, cut that on the Silhouette and put that in as well, since they've already picked the name for their daughter. So anyway, that's a project I wanted to share with you, and I want to share the bag that I'm going to put it in as well. I got caught here with a very, very busy week. I couldn't even get to the dollar store to buy a gift bag. So I found this plain one. Plain shopping bag that I had, and I really wanted to use the little fox again anyway, so I die cut it. I got to use a couple of stamps that I was wanting to move out of my stash, this large tree with the leaves, and then this design in the background. I stamped that paper as well. Before I did anything though, I printed the peacock off clip art, and then I added the rest of the elements to it. So this decorates a plain bag, and I'll put my canvas in there as my baby gift. So